Welcome to the Beyond the Burst podcast, your weekly deep dive into
the gear that shapes the sounds.
We're your hosts,
Dave Lozon
and Sean Finkler from Lozon Music in Canada. Each week, we'll be looking at the most exciting guitars, pedals, amps, and studio gear that crosses our path. Plus, real talk about the music industry and the stories behind the gear. Whether you're a bedroom shredder, touring pro, or gear nerd, just like us, you're in the right place.
You know, my first guitar is an interesting story because I was 12 years old, 13. I've been playing, but I was playing like my dad had a Strat that I played,
right?
You know, but I didn't have a guitar.
Like 80s Strat?
Yeah, his Strat was
Gilmore
like a
thing, eh?
Yeah, well, it's like an 80s 57 reissue.
Right.
It's a nice guitar. It was made in the original Fender factory. I think the first reissue, 57 reissue. He still got that guitar. He, of course, doesn't play it. I don't play any guitars that I'm aware of.
Fair enough.
But
tickling the ivories.
I was, 12, I think. 12. I was in grade 8 anyway, so maybe I was older. Maybe I was 13. Whatever. Just felt like I was pretty young. The Ottawa Sun was doing a contest for a autographed Gibson Les Paul, autographed by Slash. And I collected all my little entries, many newspaper entries. And I almost didn't go and put them in the thing at Record Runner, but I did.
You almost missed it?
I almost missed it because it was like, this is going to be a pain. Like, young, bus downtown.
You did all that
lunch.
work and you were ready to just give it up in the last
I thought
quarter?
about it, but I was like, no, get it in. So it was the last day. I had as many entries as I possibly could get, and I took the bus at lunch in middle school down to Rideau Street, went to Record Runner, and put my entries in. And then I got a call from some guy at MCA Records like the next week who said I won the guitar.
Huh.
So that was pretty funny.
Yeah, and you do not have this guitar anymore. You sold it since.
I did. I bought a Camaro with it. Not the Camaro I currently have, but I bought a 1980 Camaro.
So that could have been a great investment if you kept the Camaro, but then you sold the Camaro.
It all could have been,
Right.
Yeah, should have kept the Camaro. Should have kept the guitar.
Yeah.
But I was like,
story.
again, I think I sold the guitar when I was 16.
Right.
So you're not really
probably
playing.
a lot of money at the time.
You're not playing with a full deck when you're that age, right?
No, you have to be in your mid
40s.
I was going to say mid 30s, but yeah, you don't really, if you figure it out before then, good for you.
Good for you, yeah.
Yeah, I always get upset when I see someone who's figured it out in their 20s. Yeah. It's very upsetting to me.
Different stages of figuring it out, but most of mine happened more in my 40s.
Right. Now you just think about what you're going to eat every night.
Right.
The new dilemma. So one guitar, you got your first guitar, it was Slash guitar. But you got other guitars since. Many guitars since. Now, if you just hung on to that one guitar, I wouldn't say you fit into the class of what we're about to talk today, which is being a guitar collector. You really have to own multiple instruments, I think, unless that one thing you own is extremely rare and
that
limited.
would be... I mean, that would be just kind of weird if your first guitar, you just ended there. You got one, and that was it.
It's not really the journey usually.
No, it's not the journey because you go through phases, right? As a musician, as a guitar player, as a person, you go through phases of things you're interested in,
right?
And that your guitars are going to change along the way,
right. So as we go along this journey, there's always lots of guitars in our in our sights. We're always thinking about the next thing. But we're going to talk about some of the different types of collectors. So started kind of sketching this out and thinking about the different type of people who are buying guitars and what are they buying and why are they buying. The first thing that came to mind was what we just talked about. The one guitar, you're not a collector. You just have that one guitar. It does everything for you.
Just one, like your first guitar, and that's it. Is that
or even the guy who's one at a time kind of guy.
I feel like that's what I am more so when I'm playing like a serial monogamist.
Sure. Well, you do have other guitars.
I do have other guitars.
So, we have to consider that, even if they're things that you're not necessarily playing. the second thing I thought about was the investor, the guitar investor, and that made me immediately think about vintage guitars.
Sure.
People buying vintage guitars as a kind of value proposition, trying to hold on to them long enough to make some money on them.
Sure. I mean, I think there's even I know they do this with art where there's you can buy in shares into a collection or something like that.
Is that done with guitars?
Oh, I'm sure it is. If
sure
not,
we should start that.
It's definitely a thing. Okay. You own a piece of this, whatever.
You own the tone knob on a 63 Strat.
But that's a different world, right?
It's a different world.
It's a different thing. That's not, I don't know. That's that's not playing them. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, and some of those guys may play them and enjoy them while they have them. But
absolutely.
The goal is definitely to flip them down the road. And that's been going on really fairly strongly since the 90s, right? Wouldn't you say the kind of vintage collectors and that's changed forms? But those guys have been around for that archetype.
Absolutely.
Been around for a while,
That's a big thing. It's a stressful thing, though. Mm-hmm. I know a guy that has a 58 Les Paul, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember him telling me that he lost a screw. He was taken to a gig, but he lost a screw or something like that. Fell off a spring or pickups, some small little detail. And it was a $4,000 part, So now he just keeps it locked up. That's the thing about some of that stuff is you probably just stress out.
Right.
I would applaud anyone that's playing their stuff because I think stuff needs to be played. But I can also understand I lost this little part and now it's incomplete or now you got to worry about finding something else.
Yeah, I find the investment type too isn't just concerned with vintage. They may be concerned with limited. They may be concerned with rarity.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes they're brand specific too. I know we get that sometimes. There are guys out there that will buy only Les Pauls. All they want is Les Pauls. They want the crazy top Les Pauls. They want the special Les Pauls, the vintage inspired Les Pauls. So,
yeah, some of those collector's choice models, want all of them, or the signed artist ones. They'll have the Slash, the Jimmy Pages, Jeff Beck's. I have the collection of that. So there's definitely.
And I can understand. That would be a cool thing if you had all those guitars.
It would be so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, having all the guitars is always cool.
Yeah, it's a bit of a flex. And then, I find that too with Martin guys. There's guys who will just collect Martin. And I know we have a customer who just collects PRS. So he's just into the crazy top. Maybe not even plays a ton. He's just really into collecting. That's cool too.
I don't think that particular person plays at all.
Okay, interesting. So that's a type of collector, who's a brand-specific collector, and that can branch out into any brand, really. But those are kind of the main few that I think we've seen.
And there's also people will, if there was a limited amount of a certain thing available, then they'll try and buy the whole collection. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If it
completionist, you're talking about.
Yeah. So, but then they also would set the price in the future for that specific thing if they've bought enough of them.
Right.
Of however many there are. I'm talking about really limited stuff.
Is the guy's name JP Morgan? Kind of sounds like it. But I see that they kind of corner the market on a specific product, and some of these things are so small that you can do that. You could do that.
You could,
especially today with some of these kind of smaller boutique guys. You could try to own them all.
You could. Encourage that.
Now, there are brand-specific collectors, but some of them are not only brand-specific, but maybe they're unit collectors. Now, they may venture outside that brand, but the goal is acquisition. It is gaining as many units, as many things, as many cases, as many guitars on the wall as you can. May not be as curated. It's more about volume.
Sure. So, I mean, some of those collections are curated, right?
Some of them are.
Some a lot of units and a lot of curation. It's just a big
we see a lot
collection.
Of that, actually.
I can definitely think of a lot of that.
Yeah.
But I think you're talking about someone who's more focused on amassing a unit number quicker than maybe the quality number. So it's just more stuff, more say Chinese ordered Chibsons or something, right? They've got
or SE Silver Skies. They're feeding the beast,
right?
They're feeding the beast, and I understand that from a capitalist perspective of I'm guilty of this too. I'm always thinking about the next purchase.
Right.
I just enjoyed that thing. That's over. That's done. Now, I still may enjoy that thing for sure on a day-to-day basis, but I have to continue scratching that little capitalist thing in the back of my head saying, buy something else.
Another Corvette.
That's right. So, that is a type of collector too, just amassing numbers. And like you said, sometimes curated, sometimes not so curated.
Yeah. It's a wall of questionable pieces. Because that's another thing that maybe the sheer unit volume is more important to the person than, because that costs a lot of money too.
It adds up, yeah.
To have 25 Epiphones or something like that.
Sure. That could be $30,000 collection quickly, right?
Right. Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Which is a few really nice guitars. I mean, that's probably 6 or 7 pretty good guitars. So
right.
Yeah. Now you touched upon this earlier, but ironically touched upon. Don't touch, don't play. That's a type of collector, a bit rarer in the guitar world, but the type of collector who does not touch, does not play, and maybe there's kind of some similarities between this collector and the investor, right?
Sure. And this is a little more common than you might think. The don't touch,
right?
Or only touch with the gloves. The gloves, and. What's great is the relic and age guitar thing to come in to like just put those people at ease. I think you know what I mean.
What sense?
You can touch it.
Oh, okay.
You can play it. You don't have to be worried about that one scratch or whatever that's like on your. But there are different guitars. Someone's collecting. Very expensive Collings electrics or something. They want them all like untouched.
I can understand that almost with a Collings or even a PRS. You've seen PRSs before. The guitar is 99.9% mint, but there's that one big scratch on the front, and it doesn't look right. Like I can understand that kind of bothering someone, and that's a different approach, I think, to owning an instrument too. Some guys are like, I don't care. I do whatever I want with this guitar. It comes everywhere with me. I beat it up. That's why I got it. And some people are like, hey, this thing, if it gets a scratch, I'm probably not going to sleep for a week.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I personally, I can't live like that personally, because I like to have some nice stuff and I like to play it, and I take it to crappy clubs. Right. And I play my nice stuff everywhere. And I think that's for me, that's why I got the stuff in the first place.
The last type of collector I wanted to talk about, and this is maybe a kind of a transient thing, because they're the content collector, someone who is buying gear to make content with. And they may or may not keep the gear afterwards. They may have a collection of stuff they just bought to make content. Yeah. And hey, I'm cool with that. I mean, collect whatever you want to collect. But we do see that more so now in the social media, Instagram, content creation era, right?
Right, because they got to change it up. They're doing stuff, change up the guitars. I guess is part of the deal. I don't really know what that deal is necessarily, the content sort of thing. But maybe in the same category as that is the modders.
Yes.
Fair. Like they get a guitar and then it's all about changing every single thing about it and evolving it and whatever. And that's kind of interesting too.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah. Let's dig into some of the elements of people's collection. So for the average guitar player, I mean, I think a lot of guitar players can kind of, this will resonate with, because they may have 10 guitars, give or take, something around that amount. Yeah. And each one of those guitars kind of fills a different spot in their collection. Sure. They bought them all for different reasons, right? And sometimes we need another reason to, like I said, you got to keep buying. It's part of the fun of it, I think. And sometimes you're selling too. But sometimes you need to kind of rationalize that in your head, or for your partner, or for your family. The first one.
Why, Dad?
Why do you keep buying it?
Spending my college money.
That's right. So this different spots in the collection. The first one I was thinking about, which is probably the most common, is like the gigging guitar. This is a guitar you're going to play frequently. You're going to play it in your band format. You're going to take it out. You don't mind if it gets scratched and beaten up and dinged. For the one guitar guy, this is it too. This is everything. Again, is the
That's for me. That's it. Like I when room in my vehicle is permitting, I will bring 3 guitars to a gig.
Yeah. Which are what?
Which are James Tyler Studio Elite.
Yeah.
And a master-built Gretsch hollow jet.
Yeah, I keep forgetting you have that. Okay.
And Hey Dan Electro sitar guitar, whatever that thing is.
It probably stays in tune better than the other two, right?
No, that guitar is actually like extraordinarily like bad.
Yeah.
It's terrible, but it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I dig it for what it is. But so all of that being said, I most often have to force myself to play something other than my Tyler.
Right.
I just want to play the Tyler. I'll bring that and play that all night, every night, all the time.
You know, maybe there's a comment to be made here too, that once you get something that's maybe of that level of quality, that higher end, that may be where you start to push out some of these other guitars that just don't stack up, and you become more of a 1 or 2 or 3 guitar.
Sure.
Depending on what you're doing. If you're a collector or you're just playing, you know, it's kind of a different purpose.
I mean, at the end of the day, when you're playing or gigging, you got to decide like what do I want?
Yeah.
If you have one guitar that you just bond with and feel like it's more connected with than the others, then it's just that guitar is going to win out a lot of the time.
It may do everything. The next guitar I want to talk about, the recording guitar. So this is a guitar you buy perhaps because you know, hey, this may not work great in my band format. It may not be a guitar I want to play with live, but it sounds great in the studio. This is a guitar when I mic, you know, for acoustic guitar, if you're miking it, it's like, it sounds pristine. It is perfect. It's a great recorded sound. It could be an electric guitar that has more flexibility, that works really well in a studio. Maybe it's more high fidelity. It just sits in the mix. So that's another guitar I think people often buy. Is like, hey, I want this great studio instrument.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, that could be a lot of guitars because if you're recording, you know, a lot, maybe you're really going to notice the difference in sound of, especially in really good guitars, you're going to notice like, so you have a Castadosa Abbey and you plug that thing in and those pickups and the whole, like, that's like a real sound.
That would be a nice
That'd
guitar to have in the studio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like just to be able to just hear that, you know, at any time. So I definitely see the use. You know, if you're recording, you can certainly have a justification for.
We're helping you guys justify your collection here. So this is actually really why we're doing this.
I feel like this is therapeutic for me. I'm making some progress and some new ideas here. I just kind of got lost in that Castadosa.
That's true.
I'm going to get myself a Castadosa Concerts baritone.
That'll be a nice
the
instrument.
next guitar for me.
So this is where I'm going to prove by the end of this that you are a collector in your own right. There's 4 guitars.
I said I wasn't.
That's right. The cheap sentimental guitar. I know you don't have this anymore.
I do.
Which one's that? Oh, your G&L.
Yeah.
Well, there 5 guitars. Now we're up to 5. But this is a guitar I think everyone still has. It's that guitar that doesn't have any value, really. You bought it, though. It's one of the first things you got. It may have some sentimental connection. It's the guitar that you never got rid of and you're never going to get rid of because you've always had it.
That was when I played professionally and toured endlessly, that was my main guitar. I probably played more than 1,000 gigs with that guitar across North America. So what am I going to do with it? It's like, you know, you're not going to sell it. I know I'm never going to play it again, but you know.
You just hang on to them.
Just hang.
Part of the collection.
That's it. The sentimental guitar. I can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's a whole era of my life.
That's fair. The art guitar. So this is a guitar that you're buying this not to play. You see something and it's stunning. Like this is, I've never seen something. It may be a one-of-one guitar. It's a stunning guitar. I've never seen one like this before. I just have to own that. It doesn't have the neck I like. The frets are a little weird. I don't even like the sound of the pickups. But this guitar is stunning. I need to own it.
Sure. Well, that's a whole other thing, right? Because the stuff is, guitars are works of art, really. You know, I don't know about you, but I hang up my guitars at home. And I have
them on a stand,
Yeah, hang them on the walls, and I have like a humidification going, so in the winter, so I can still have them hang.
Right.
But like that's something just when you walk by a guitar and look at it, it's just like you get a feeling. So with something like that, what you're talking about, just seeing it can
Right.
inspire you to maybe just not even playing that, but maybe just inspire you in some
Yeah,
way.
get you excited.
Yeah,
That double neck acoustic could do that for me. I
Yeah.
like looking at that thing.
I do too.
That would be my
Yeah.
art guitar.
Yeah.
This we kind of we touched on this earlier, but the future investment guitar. So a guitar that you're buying just because, hey, I know down the road that thing's going to be collectible, and some people are really good at this. I think of the Jimmy Page guitar, the signed Jimmy Page guitar. I don't know how much that went up in value, but that
Well,
would
there's
have
been a few of them,
smart
right?
investment.
Like the first one, I think the first one it went over $100,000 or something
Yeah.
like that. But that black one that we had new,
Yeah.
I think it was 24,000 or something like that new.
Which was, that's a lot of money too, just to start with. But
Sure, but it's probably crazy now.
right,
I don't know. I haven't looked, but that's a thing. I don't think you could ever go wrong with a limited edition guitar signed by Jimmy Page, right?
right.
Like, is that gonna?
Yeah, well, we sold one recently. It was Jimmy Page and Albert Lee.
No,
right?
no.
Eric Clapton and Albert Lee.
Eric Clapton and
Sorry.
Albert Lee and Jimmy Page.
Jimmy Clapton and Eric Lee. Yeah,
Jimmy Clapton.
right.
He's my favorite.
Right.
The Jimmy Page one was recently was that acoustic, which sounded great. But that was just Jimmy Page, and
Right.
then we had
they were close together. That's why. I blended them.
yeah. But those kind of things, like signed by a legend, very small quantity produced, like you're never gonna go wrong.
Right.
The
EVH guitars. Some of those are.
Yeah,
As we've seen.
the signed played EVH stuff. Yeah.
So I can understand that approach too. You're buying something, you love guitars to begin with. You're buying it because you know that, hey, down the road, this is going to be even more valuable.
Yeah.
So I can't blame someone who has the means of doing that to do that.
Well, that's a lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
fun too.
If you got the money, what better way?
Right.
That's one of the good ways. That's one of the good ways.
It truly is, because you also can enjoy this instrument in the meantime. This is with any of these like future acquisitions.
The alternate tuning guitar. Now, this may be a guitar. I don't know if you have one like this. Well, the baritone is kind of going to be in that vein, so to speak.
Yeah, sure.
But this is a guitar that you're keeping in an alternate tuning. It's set up in an alternate tuning.
Yeah.
It may not be the best guitar you own, but it feels really good in this alternate tuning, and you just leave it in that. So that's the reason it's staying around. It's a great open D, or whatever you have it set up, and half a step down. It's set up in some way that it feels great, it sounds great, and it's always going to be in your collection because you need that guitar to do that.
Right. It's ready to go in that tuning.
It's ready to go.
It's intonated properly for that. It's going to work. Yeah. Sure. That makes sense.
Yeah.
How many guitars are we up to?
Let's see. We got to be up to 6 or 7 at this point. So I think we're going to be around 10 by the time this shakes out. And, this may not resonate with everybody, but I think most people are going to have a few of these. This is one I like. I hear it commonly enough, and I always kind of have a little bit of a laugh when I hear it because I've had the same thought. The heirloom guitar for your kids. So you're collecting guitars. Maybe you've already amassed a certain amount of guitars. Now you're collecting them for the next generation. These aren't for me.
Right.
This is my kids' future.
Sure. Your collection's already at a reasonable level, but your kid's 2 years old and they haven't collected any guitars yet at all.
And this can take on a lot of different forms. Sometimes you're buying guitars on their birthdays. Or maybe I've even heard, hey, my baby was born, I'm buying a guitar. Pretty cool to have a guitar the same year as my child.
Sure. I've heard
Can't argue
people
with that.
definitely had people looking for specific serial numbers and dates of manufacture to coincide with their birthday or their kid's birthday. Or
Right.
something. Yeah.
So that's kind of a fun one. Good.
That's fun. Sure.
Another good reason to get one. The esoteric edition. This is where I was thinking of your sitar. Your sitar guitar.
Yeah.
It's not the best guitar you own, but
It's certainly
you've
not.
got this thing that it kind of doesn't necessarily fit the mold of everything that you do, but it's got a real strength, some niche strength.
Yeah.
And you can't get rid of it. It's a great overdubbing guitar.
Sure. And these are all just different things that can inspire you too, right?
For sure.
But yeah, this could be a bass 6.
Right.
Or it could be a baritone. It could be like that sitar guitar.
Could be a lap steel.
Could be a lap steel. Could be a pedal steel.
Yeah, we're not going to set the parameters for you, but it's something outside the box of a standard tuning 6-string guitar.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think we all have one or two of those.
Yeah. What do you have?
Well, I've got that Richmond Dorchester.
Yes.
Which, you don't know that it's worth anything, but it's kind of a weird, it's got the Lumitone pickups.
Oh, right.
Kind of a weird thing.
That's right. I forgot I had those pickups.
Yeah. And so,
Yeah.
The good deal guitar. A deal you just can't pass up.
You had one of those.
I've had many of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of one in particular. That
Which one?
Was it a master built Jaguar or was it just
that was definitely the prime example of it.
The best deal ever.
$900 master. Oh no,
it wasn't
team built.
It was
a team built,
but it was a heavy relic.
Heavy relic, yeah.
Jaguar custom shop,
really nice
for $900 or something.
Yeah, that's when I figured out I don't like Jaguars. I like Jazz Masters, but Jaguars kind of wasn't my thing.
Right,
it was a great guitar.
Oh, it was nice to get that opportunity on a nice one like that.
Yeah, that was a good deal too. Yeah. So sometimes we get these deals that cross our path, and you just can't say no.
No, that's true.
Can't blame you.
That's the thing. I just can't say no guitar.
Can't say no.
We had a 1991 Les Paul Standard in here.
Oh, yes.
In black, which was the same. I think the one I had, my first guitar, the Slash guitar, was a 92, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But this thing was just like that. Mm-hmm. And I actually thought it was that guitar because it had the stamped, like, not for resale, like the promo was one, and there was no pickguard on it, which is where it was signed. And I had to get some background on the guitar to find out that it wasn't the one I had. And I remember because I dropped a cymbal, like I kicked over a cymbal, drummer cymbals, and it gouged out part of the guitar. So, but if it was that, I would, you just have to get it.
That may even be kind of a niche spot too. You found a guitar again. We've had a few of those where it's like I had to get that thing because I sold that 30 years ago.
And I always regretted it.
And I put my social insurance number on the back of the headstock, so I know that one's mine.
That's not a good trend.
No, it isn't. This is one I think we all have too. Well, I don't know if you have one of these, but the one that you let Donnie play when he comes over.
Like the guest guitar.
This is the guest guitar. Because, people come over, you want to give them something.
Sure.
It's got to be decent. Can't be as good as your thing, right?
I don't have a guest guitar. I just got a bunch of my guitars, I guess. But I understand this guitar. Like you've got something there when you're having some friends over, someone else can play with you.
Yeah, and it's good. Maybe it's a bass too. You may have a bass.
I do have a bass.
Well, there you go. That may be your guest guitar. You can only have a bass player over though. In that case,
bass player I play with is left-handed.
No, that'd be a tough one. Yeah, but that's a guitar you have. Or a piece of gear you have that's really for the guest.
Sure, yeah.
Someone to play with.
You need one of those.
And the last one I want to talk about, the one that got away, which technically isn't in your collection because it got away, but I think we all have at least one or two guitars that have come by our path that we thought, man, I should have bought that.
Oh, man.
I should have bought that.
Mine is 100% the Master Built Gretsch Roadrunner that Kyle designed.
Yeah.
And I actually ordered like something. My Gretsch is exactly the same guitar. It's like spec'd out. And that's what I did, trying to chase that specific thing. But that guitar was the one that got away from me.
Do you think it's going to have the same mojo? You're hoping for the same mojo. Well, hopefully
I've got it. I've got.
This is the one you have already.
Yeah,
okay, sorry.
I have it.
Okay, I'll cut
and
that.
I've had a hard time bonding with that guitar. Actually, truthfully, honestly.
Truthfully.
However, that was my feeling at first, but now it's really coming around. I don't know if it's when my guitar breaks in, or I don't know if maybe I'm breaking into the guitar.
Yeah,
but
maybe get used to it.
I actually really enjoy it now.
Time does good things to musical instruments.
It does.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope we touched upon all the elements of collecting, and maybe you have a few of these guitars in your collection. Maybe you have all of them. Maybe you have more than we mentioned too. So if you have anything to add to our list, let us know. And if you like this podcast, please like and subscribe to hear more from us.